Hey everyone, this is Rob. Today I'm going to go ahead and make a YouTube video. I've been getting a lot of calls regarding this flash freeze that we're having coming in tonight. It's the first part of September, so it's kind of weird. I guess it's Colorado though, so take that for what it is. Welcome to Colorado if you're just here. But yeah, we get some crazy weather. So anyway, a lot of people have been calling about, hey, I need to get you on the schedule to get my sprinklers blown out. However, it's kind of early yet in the season to blow out your sprinklers, although we do have a flash freeze coming. Still a bit early because although the next few days we're going to have lows in the low 20s, after that we're going to be back up into the 70s and 80s during the day, so you still want to irrigate your grass and your shrubs and whatnot. So anyway, the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to need to locate your water meter. Fortunately, if you live in Castle Rock, probably 90% of the homes, I would say, are going to be set up like this. Mine happens to be in the basement, maybe in the crawl space or whatnot. But you're going to want to locate your water meter and your main water line where it comes into the house. This valve down here, that's your main shut-off valve. So if you shut that off, that's going to turn off the water to your house, irrigation, everything. This right here, that's your PRV. Don't really need to worry about that. This is the water meter. This is your backflow. And then up here, I've located my house shutoff valve as well as my irrigation shutoff valve. Super important that you shut off the right one. If you shut this one off here, that's going to shut off the water to your whole house. This one here is for your irrigation. So what I've done is I've just went ahead and labeled them once I've located what they are. If yours aren't located or if it's not obvious which one it is, what you can do is you can shut off either one of the valves. If you say, for instance, if you shut off your house valve, not a big deal. Just go check, make sure you still have running water at your faucet. You want to let it run for, probably about 15 seconds or so, because you could have some additional head pressure built up in the system that'll allow it to run for a little bit, but it might make you think that the water's still on, but it's not. So go ahead and just turn on a faucet, kitchen sink, let it run for a couple minutes, make sure that you still have water. So what you're going to want to do, first step, is turn this valve right here. So you just want to take this valve, it's just a quarter turn it to the off position. In line with the pipe is on, perpendicular to the pipe is off. So you want to just shut that off. And then once you do that, once you locate that valve, then you need to go outside to your backflow. So we'll go ahead and we'll go out there. Okay, so now you're outside at your backflow preventer. Since you've already shut the water off in the house, what you're going to want to do is you're going to need a flathead screwdriver. That's the only tool you're really going to need for this whole process. So you just need a flathead screwdriver, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come over to these test cock valves, and you're just going to want to open them. Again, just a quarter turn. So see how the little valve is vertical. You're just going to want to turn that horizontally. A little bit of water will come out, that's okay, but you can see it stopped. Go ahead and just do that to both of them. Open both of those up. What that does is that relieves the vacuum in the system. So what that's going to allow you to do now is back downstairs in the basement or wherever your shutoff valve is, that's going to allow you to drain that pipe. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you drain this pipe right here and all of the water out of here, because if you don't, with the overnight cold temperatures, this copper and brass, it'll get really cold and it'll freeze. Anything underground right now, you're not really going to have to worry about freezing, but these exterior pipes definitely will freeze and burst. So now we'll go ahead and we'll move into the sprinkler valve box. You may or may not have only one. Some people have several of these, but you just want to open it, use your flathead screwdriver, and in there you're going to have these valves. And you may or may not have a drain valve in here. Sometimes there's going to be just a little disc with like some fabric on it. That allows it to self-drain per se. But in this case, I have a manual drain valve. So I'm going to go ahead and just open that valve and let the water drain out of the manifold as well. You can see there's some water coming out, completely normal. And then I can actually hear my backflow over there gurgling as the water's draining out. So that's a good sign. So once you've done all that, just want to go ahead and throw your cover back on there. Some people will wrap the backflow, this guy here, with some insulation. If you've drained it properly, I don't really feel that that's necessary. An empty pipe can't freeze and break. In my opinion, it's not going to help any, but you can do it if you want to. It's up to you. So we'll go back down in the basement now. Okay, so now we've shut off the water inside the house, went outside, drained the backflow, and released the vacuum so it'll drain. So on this shutoff valve, generally, there's going to be that little brass cap right here. And what this is this is a drain. So what you'll want to do now is you'll want to open that drain up. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can see there's a little hole in that drain cap. And what that does is that, because like for instance in mine, I've got a wall right up against it. It's kind of hard to get a bucket up in there. But with that drain valve, that little hole in there, in the cap, I can kind of angle it and aim it where I want it to do, where I want it to spray or drain. So what you'll do is you'll grab a bucket and you'll just want to catch that water that comes out of there when you loosen that cap up. And it may or may not have a lot of water in there. For instance, mine, it makes a pretty long run of pipe. So it drains, mine drains for honestly about 5 minutes. Yours may only take a few seconds, just depending on if your pipe just goes straight up and straight out or if it runs across your basement like mine does. But you'll just want to release that cap, let the water drain until it is just a dribble, and then just put that cap back on. Don't tighten it all the way, but just put it on to just enough to where it's going to stay on and not get bumped off. And then you can even leave your bucket just on the ground right there, just so if any drips, they just catch in the bucket. And that's really all you're going to need to do right now. Like I said, it's not going to be, I mean, it is going to get cold, but we're not going to have a long duration of several consecutive days, you know, a couple of weeks of below freezing where we need to worry about the underground pipes. So what this will do, this will enable you to get your system drained and not have any pipes burst on the outside of your house. But then, you know, since we are just in the first part of September, you're going to want to irrigate again. So then all you'll have to do is just tighten that brass cap back up, go turn those valves back off that we turned on at the backflow, and then turn your water back on at this valve right here. Pretty simple. I hope this video helps you guys, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.